the buy side, the sell side, and then the total difference between the two of them is the top level number. Continue to push lower down to the 10 handles. Okay, so now we look at, because it's not just that number that I care about. 822 million is big, but it's not the biggest. We do, $2, $4, $5 billion imbalances all the time. But what I also want to see is how much. I didn't say short. How much of the dollars? Okay, the dollar one's a little bizarre to me, but the dollar is of all the imbalanced dollars, if they were like an imbalanced thing, right? There's 2 billion. 1453 plus 631 is 2 billion. There's 2 billion worth of imbalanced dollars. 1.5 of them are on the buy side, 631 are on the sell side. That means 70% of all the imbalanced dollars, being a thing, 70% of them are on the buy side. So it's 2 to 1 buy, basically. It's more than 2 to 1, right? 66% is 2 to 1. That's 66 on one side, 33 on the other. Do the reduction, it's 2 to 1. So anything bigger than 66 is better than 2 to 1. Anything less is less than 2 to 1. And I like to see 2 to 1. So I like it when the dollars are 2 to 1 on the buy side to the sell side or greater. It's 70% right now. And I like it when the symbols are, where the symbols are just skating right. Symbols are skating right on the edge here. Beaver just posted. Just got an alert on that. So that the symbols side is right on the edge here of being there. Now what will happen is if I lose my signal, because my signal is 66 or better for me, and 500 million or better on the top line, and we've met that criteria. If I lose any of those, I will just get out of my trade and be done with it and walk away. We got some really decent selling going on here. These ticks are buried below. Okay, so I think I did a better job today explaining that than I did yesterday. Like I feel like I did. So let's just kind of go through the mechanics of using the MiM itself. So we've got the numbers we just talked about. The P, you need to talk to order pending because he's the only person I know that uses it. Is a pressure number of how much pressure there is on the market to move, and it's a volume weighted thing. So that's the top chart. The gauge should be pretty obvious, right? That the yellow hand is the dollar percentage. The blue hand is the symbol percentage. So dollar and pound mean symbol to us in the room, and we like to see them in the green, and they are in the green. So everybody knows what a market on close order is, right? That's what gets executed at 4 o'clock. You can put them in. You can put them in, and you can change them until 3:45 p.m. Eastern time. At that point, they're locked in, and you're committed to being part of the closing auction. So at that time, everything's locked. The digital feed starts, and then we know what the MOC looks like. So right now, we're just kind of guessing what the MOC looks like, and we're guessing that it's going to be, oops, I got to get out. Oh, that wasn't a very good trade. We'll wait and see if it flips or whether we get our signal back here again. We're just into a selling phase here. This market is digging lower, maybe based on the FOMC minutes. So what was I saying? So yeah, at 3:45, it's going to get locked up, and then we'll get the real feed, and then we'll see what it is. So right now we're guessing that it's going to be around 700 million to the buy side. So we're guessing it's going to be a buy MOC, which will surprise this market too, evidently. If you go on the page, the MiM page, you'll see there's a main tab, and you'll see there's the imbalance chart. And if you look at click on that and look at the imbalance chart, you'll see how the imbalance has gone through maybe I should share this. You can see how, anyways, you can see how the imbalance has moved through the time. So you can see that here at 305, really at 305, it started to really wane. Well, it hit its peak at 811 million to buy at 238. Then it just started kind of whittling away. So it gives you a time-based way of looking at how the MiM is moving. The next is the percentage chart, which is those dollar percentage and those symbol percentages. I like to see them in the green area or the red area. We just fell out the green line, which is the symbol percentage, right? Just fell out below 2 to 1. And boy, the dollar percentage is about there too, right? They started off at a nice strong 76. Sometimes those early MIMs are really just too early. So Paul says, well, how come it's showing 67% to buy and the ES keeps on dropping? Good question. And the reason is because, first of all, price is going to go where price is going to go. Sometimes it cares about the MiM and sometimes it doesn't. But most of the traders that are trading right now don't know what the MiM is saying and don't look at it and don't care right now. To them, 3:45 is the important time, and 3:10 here Eastern time just isn't important. And we're going to trade, and then we'll figure out and close the market when it needs to be closed, which is the last 15 minutes of the day. Now we hit another 10 down, so we're taking the big leaps down, bounding down the steps here. So I'm going to send you a. First of all, you can use You can use it for a couple of things, right? You can use it to confirm your bias, right? So if you were short right now, which you should be, I hate to say this, but I have seen you numbers nowhere. I don't know what that means. So have you got the MiM up, Steve? So go to the right arrow that's above the chat that points to the right, click on that, and then click on MiM. Low tick of the day just went in. So you can use it to confirm your bias, right? So if you were short and you're really, confident in your short here, and you looked at the MiM and it wasn't really a particularly strong MiM today, you might keep your short on, or you might lighten up your short, take some off, right? If the MiM were showing 2 billion and it was 80% to the buy side, and 80% of the symbols to the buy side, you might want to think about taking your short off, or at least making sure that you lighten up at least by 3:45 in case the MiM materializes. All right, Steve, good job. Good job. But I'll send her out tonight. I keep promising to do that. 3 presentations that really talk about the mechanics of the close. Sometimes the mechanics are important and are more important than levels. That's during rebalancing, those kinds of things. How I trade the MiM, and about D quotes and what D quotes are and how they affect the close. Okay, so look for that, Paul, in your inbox tonight. But we have early traders. We have people who trade against the MiM. We have people who trade the last 15 minutes only. We have people who trade the last 5 minutes only. Everybody's kind of developed their own style and technique of trading the MiM. There is a mentoring program. I need to talk to John about that. I don't remember. All the presentations have been recorded. Yes. Yes. So is there any questions about the MiM itself? Because I went through it yesterday about using the tabs and what all the tabs do. Yeah, I'm going to find out about the slides, Paul. I don't know if all the presenters have their slides available to give out. If there's a particular slide set you want. I know it's a lot of information that comes all together at once. Tiki Day says, does a MiM correlate to the signals on the shared MiM charts? No. No, the MiM charts are, first of all the charts are shared in MiM because MIM's a universal room. Everybody who has, if you have a membership to IM Pro, you get a membership to MiM. If you have a membership to MiM, you're in the MiM room. And you guys here in Open House have a MiM room. So the reason that they're shared in the MiM room is because everybody can see them that way, because you can only see the charts that are shared in a room that you have access to. So the different charts, and Niels is going to go over some of those charts and how the footprint charts work. My chart is the MiM-M, so I'm just too lazy to type in a title. It needs at least one letter. Just watching this price action here. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get some relief here to this downside move. So we'll get that MiM stuff out to you tonight. You guys read that for your homework, and then we come back tomorrow. When we come back tomorrow, we'll go through that. Comes that bounce relief. So some of the things, the big things to look forward to on the MiM. The MiM is good at ends. I think I talked about that yesterday. The end of the week, the end of the month, the end of the quarter, end of the year. That's when you see big moves. You see big rebalancings. I thought that Raj Mahal's presentation yesterday about volatility and the volatility funds. I mean, the thing about the ETFs, right? The ETFs are great, I guess, but they're formaic, and they're published, and they're known how they have to operate, and they have to operate within those guidelines. So when you have to rebalance, you have to rebalance. We talked a little bit about sector rotation type rebalancing. That's when people are buying, maybe buying utilities for interest, maybe for cash, and blue chips, and selling the Russells and the techs. So maybe getting out of risks and doing a lower risk rotation. Those tend to show big imbalances both on the buy side and the sell side. You might get like 4 billion on the buy, 4 billion on the sell, but the difference between them is just a zero, and it's just a big, huge market churn and just making a bunch of people a bunch of commissions. But the good rebalances is when money either is flowing from another product, bonds or whatever, and into stocks, or out of stocks into cash or into bonds. So inflow kind of rebalancing and taking out kind of rebalancing, those kinds of things. Those are when you see the big, huge MiM moves. And again, those are the things that are going to actually stop the market. Right, this thing's like a train right now, and will even if it's a $700 million buy, will that it might put a little glitch in the market, but it might not stop what's going on. Watching the ticks here, see if the selling's done. Did you guys have anything that you thought was really good today or yesterday? I tell people too that because some people get overwhelmed. There's so much going on. We have so many presentations, and then you go in these rooms, and it's like just stuff's flowing by, and I don't know. Just find somebody, Trader Dave, Algo, somebody. Just find somebody and just focus on their posts. Try to understand what they're doing. I was saying we have a lot of old traders. We don't have very many bold traders, and there's a reason for that, right? Bold traders don't last very long. So this group is really seasoned. Traders have been around for a long time. They've seen it all. Fixed moving up to 19. So just focus on someone whose style you like or someone you want to know. Private them. Ask them questions. You should know how to do that. Send a private message by now. Wow, still getting a good selling tick here. This is a quiet group. Waiting for a change in the MiM here. So 323 is my second opportunity to look for a trade. Again, we're waning on the buy side of this MiM. Now 68% on the dollar, 64% on the symbols, 734 million buy side top line. Still looking for that 9-to-1 up day that really is bullish to the upside. This isn't going to be it today. We're still right around 45%, so about 1-to-1 here. So the S&P shows 69%. That means 69% of the dollars are on the buy side for the S&P. It's green because it's positive. Coming back to test the lows here. To 715. Right there, what's happening for the MiM is there's a team on the floor of the NYSE floor brokers, which get the early read. They get an early look at the imbalance data because they're responsible for bringing in the other side and for pairing off the other side, and that's what they're doing. So if you go to the leaderboard, our largest buy right now is GE. GE's got 108 million more shares to buy than sell, right? So we have to find some sellers that want to sell some GE stock into that trade in order to pair off that trade. So the floor brokers have early privilege to do that, and they see it on a symbol by symbol basis. We get that data on a symbol by symbol basis, and we aggregate it into these top line numbers to produce our data set. It becomes a high tick. At 3:45, it will be the digital feed. So now all the data will be locked, and then we'll get an update every 15 seconds or so going into the close. I'm continuing to whittle down now, 673. The snapshots I find pretty good. 5 minutes is where I like to put the setting on. That's got a little pull down on that tab up there. You can do that, so you can see that we started 646 in the top line, built all the way up to 811, and now we're back down to the 600s here. Our dollar percentage had gone. It was up 77%, now 68%, and then that pound number, which started off at 75% early, now down to 64. Taking our 330 read here, which should have my third time, and again, it's getting weaker and weaker, and pound the simple number just 59% now. Price is getting stronger though, a little bit. to the lows. $18 minutes left of the day, 3 minutes left until we get to the reveal. And our imbalance meter just completely waning the entire day. Some of that is just natural pairing off, where people are just selling into the market, worried about not waiting for the close. You can buy lower. Dow 80 line now 3.3 to 1 to the downside. Still positive on the NYSE. Russell's still positive. Russell having a relatively good day today. Still 2 to 1 green on the Russell. ES is now in negative territory. NASDAQ still, at least on the future, still in positive territory, but on the lows. Look at this selling. This is just, you looking on the ticks, you can just see each tick's getting progressively lower and lower. One minute. So you guys should all have a trade alerts room too, so you can take a look at that. See, those are kind of some of the feeds you can get. That's just a generic feed. But if that's something that you're interested in, something that you think would help your trading, take advantage of. You can take advantage of that. And there we go. So look at that, MiM, 122 million. That's, it's pretty close to zero. 1.5 to buy. In fact, some MOCs will be to the downside. You might even see this one switch to the downside. So there you go. 1.5 billion to buy, 1.4 to sell. Well, we know what they're buying. They're buying Russell 2000, so they're buying small caps. That's kind of bullish, right? And they're selling the blue chips, 2 to 1 to the downside on the blue chips. So an interesting setup here as we go. All right, so any other questions? The next number to wait for is 355. That's when the PM, that's when the D quotes come in. There'll be some buyers there who we consider smart money, I guess, because who knows how to do D quotes? Just the institutional guys, really. There are some retail people that can put in D quotes if you have it on your workstation. So we'll see what they're doing, but just because they buy or sell does not mean that that's what their sentiment is. They just may be buying back what they traded in early. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. I hope you had a good day. We're going to start again tomorrow. What we got tomorrow? Tomorrow is February 22nd. So Ryan Littlestone. So for you Forex traders, anybody interested in Forex, Ryan and Live Squawk And Ryan's company FlexFlow and MrTopStep are doing a joint partnership together to start a Forex trading room. Ryan will be here to talk about that. Niels, the market genius, will be here. I mean, the chart genius, the market genius. I'll take away from him on that either. He has got footprint charts that work on Ninja. And he's going to come and talk about that, talk about what a footprint chart is, and get some education on that, so you can make sure you're here at 10 a.m. Central Time. That's 11 a.m. Eastern Time to hear Niels. Ryan the hour before. And Natix, we have Brian Caprice for the 30-minute trader. So for people who want to be able to limit risk and trade with, I don't know if you guys have done binary trades, binary options or not, but the great thing about them is, you lose what you put in, basically, is the downside. You can't lose more than that to put the trade on. And he's going to talk about 30-minute trades on Natix, which I'm interested in because it's hard. It's a hard transition to go from an analog world, which is what we're in, to the binary world, which is very digital, and to translate that trade. So he's going to help us make that leap into Natix land in binaries and show us how to profit off binary trades. And David Winke is coming on am I on Friday? No. Okay. Coming on at 1 o'clock, 2 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. So I'll be here at 9 in the morning to get us all set up, make sure we're all okay, and then we'll get trading and rolling through the day. So remember, if you're in the rooms, pick somebody who you particularly like and just follow their trades. If you click on a trader's name, if you just click on their name in the chat room, okay, the chat will turn into just a list of all the posts that particular person has done. So if you want to see Trader J, Dave, or Algo Boy, or D Boy, just click on his name inside the chat room. It will filter all of that person's trades, and if you type into the inbox, it actually will send them a private message. You're in that room. Then if you want to get it, when you want to get out of that, just go over to the rooms menu on the lower right and click on a room, like you know how to move between rooms and those kinds of things, and you can get out. So it's a good way of filtering and to read up on people and follow people and see exactly what they're doing. And don't forget, too, that you can email chat to yourself, the contents of the chat. They only last 24 hours. So if you want a copy of it so you can study it and those kinds of things, go to the down arrow above the chat area, click on that, and just hit email chat, and it will email you to the address that you use to log in. So that being said, I'm going to say good night. We'll see. It's 60 degrees outside. It's killing me because it hasn't been 60 degrees since November, early November, late October. So we've been missing it a little bit. So I'm going to go outside and get some sunshine. You guys all have a super night.